Whether it be tricks to make certain tasks easier on the day-to-day, or some advice on how to improve your mindset, here's some life hacks that everyone should know. Hey everybody, I'm Wacky Universe bringing you another video today on Talltanic. 20. Grow your own vegetables. Sure, it's time-consuming, but if you're tight on money, you might want to take the extra time to just grow your own vegetables instead of going to the store and buying a bunch every week, some of which you won't even end up using. You might have to get creative with a vegetable garden if you live in a city, but it can be done. And who knows when you'll need a skill set like this? But at least you have it. Also, if you're paranoid about GMOs and other chemicals, just take it upon yourself to grow your own food so that you don't have to worry or blame anyone. 19. Learn something and teach it. The older we get, the more we might think we don't need to learn as many new things as when we were younger. However, learning anything from being more knowledgeable on a subject matter to gaining new skills can be a productive way to spend your free time. To test out just how much you actually know, try teaching it to a friend. You'll never really get to know how well you taught yourself if you can't even try to teach someone else. Sure, you could just read or take in all that knowledge yourself and be done with it, but like Seneca, the Roman philosopher, once said, if you want to master it, show your friend how. 18. Bobby pin collection. Here's a little life hack to all the people out there that go through bobby pins like they're nothing. Keep track of those things. If you have a pet or a baby, keeping track of things they could choke on is vastly important. You could use anything like an old mint case, like a Tic Tac container, to hold all your bobby pins in, or you could attach a magnetic strip to your bedroom or bathroom wall and line them up all together. It serves as a fast and easy way of just grabbing them and putting them back in a hurry. 17. Chew gum to ease your nerves. While not exactly food, the act of chewing gum has been around since the times of the Mayans and the ancient Greeks. One study conducted in Japan showed that people who chewed gum at least twice a day showed lower rates in anxiety than those who didn't chew gum in that same period of time. Scientists can't say exactly why chewing gum seems to reduce anxiety, though it perhaps has to do with stimulating your taste buds, the smell, and even the exertion of energy. So if you're about to do something that makes you nervous, try chewing some gum. 16. Check your phone when house hunting. When you go out hunting for your new house or apartment, don't think you're being rude when you suddenly get your phone out. Before you make any commitments on where you're going to live, you need to know if the cell reception will be any good. Price and location might be ideal for you, but consider how much you'd be willing to have trouble picking up calls or getting your data to work. If you don't have any acceptable service, you might find yourself choosing between a place to live and your carrier. 15. No gross leaking garbage. So you did move into that house. Awesome. Now make sure you don't get gross trash bag runoff all over those new floors. All that excess liquid in the trash gets super off-putting and gross really fast. A way to prevent that mess from getting any bigger would be placing some newspapers at the bottom of your trash bag before you throw anything else out. This would absorb the disgusting juices and reduce the risk of a hole in the bag leaking it out. 14. Navigate without a GPS. We rely on GPS a lot nowadays, whether it be on a GPS device or on our phones. But once in a while, refresh yourself by using a paper map and learning to navigate without a GPS. You may not even be that much of an outdoors person. However, to be extra prepared in case you get lost on a less frequented road and there's no service, you'll do yourself a big favor by being skilled at not only reading a map, but being able to navigate your general location without one. If you can figure out which way is east, west, north, and south, you won't ever truly be lost. 13. Mastering the parallel park. Even people with a driver's license might hesitate if you ask them to parallel park. Unless you live in a city or town where regular parking can be scarce, most drivers might not need to practice parallel parking on the daily. So if you think you live in a place where you hardly need to ever parallel park, still practice just to be safe. It's not a skill that a lot of people tend to do. And if you ever do end up moving in a big city, you'll at least be confident you won't bump into other cars when you need to park. 12. No more excess oil. When sautéing food or frying it in a pan when you cook, a lot of us tend to put too much oil. While your lips may never feel chapped when you eat dinner, all that extra oil may lessen the taste of your food, be bad for your health, and ultimately waste your money. To avoid pouring too much oil in the pan, it all starts when you first open the bottle after buying it from the store. Instead of taking the foil seal completely off, use a fork to poke some holes in it. This gives the oil less to escape through and gives you more control of how much you use. 11. Making better conversation. If you find yourself in the midst of awkward conversation a lot, or talking with someone who doesn't seem to want to say much, apparently just waiting may be the key. Say you ask this person a question and they only gave you a partial answer. In the world of sales, you need to be able to hold control of the conversation without talking too much or seeming too pushy. If you're met with a half answer, science says to just wait. People naturally feel the need to fill the silence, and you'll end up getting a more complete answer. 10. Mark tape with a paper clip. One of the biggest small annoyances in life is when you're trying to just rip a piece of tape off and you can't find the end of the roll. You end up tearing a bunch of tape off, but not the quantity you wanted, ruining a certain amount of that roll. A problem usually faced when you own clear tape. To remedy this, use a paper clip to mark the edge of the tape so future you will never have to guess. 9. Spaghetti and dwindling candles. If you don't have long matches or one of those extended lighters on hand, and you have a candle melted to the bottom half of the jar, look to your pantry for assistance. You can light a flame at the end of some raw, dry spaghetti, and then safely light a candle that's gone a little too far down the jar. It keeps your hand safe and makes it easier than trying to stuff your hand with a match or lighter down there with it. 8. Aloe Vera cubes. Sometimes more holistic treatments show more results. One handy thing to have in your freezer would be to have an ice cube tray full of frozen aloe vera. For the days you know you're going to be out in the sun and possibly get sunburn, run to your freezer and then place an aloe vera cube on your skin and feel instant relief. These cubes are also apparently really good for acne, feet fungus, blisters, and other skin irritations. Freezing aloe vera gel serves as a natural and cheap way of treating these ailments. 7. Perfect cinnamon rolls. Look at this cinnamon roll cut with a knife. It got all flattened for the person trying to hold it down, and that heavy knife dragging the rest of it down with it. Surely there must be a better way to slice up a cinnamon roll. And yep, there is. Just use floss. Take that string and slice through that dough without having to hold anything down when you do. Just make sure you buy the unminted, unwaxed kind, unless you love the taste of mint dental floss on your desserts. 6. Flatten your ground beef. It can take forever for meat to thaw. In the case of ground beef, there's a way that can apparently speed up the thawing process. But you have to remember to do this when you first buy ground beef. When it comes fresh from the grocery store, flatten the ground beef when you get home, as many of them come in compact containers or rolled up. Remove it from the case, flatten it, and put it in something like a big Ziploc. When you pull it out of the freezer, it will thaw faster. 5. Moving your clothes. Those of us with extensive wardrobes have a time trying to transport all our clothes. Some items go missing, or you realize you left one shirt hanging in the closet. Instead of digging through boxes and bags looking for your favorite cardigan, try keeping your clothes on the hanger and just using a trash bag to encase it from the bottom up. This way, your clothes stay separate and organized, and you can count from the hanger sticking out of the top just how many clothes are inside. 4. Chill with grapes. Diluted wine can be a damper for any dinner party. Likewise, warm wine on a hot day or night out doesn't sound so pleasant. One way to keep that flavor close to grape but still also chilled, try not putting water ice cubes in your wine and chill it with frozen grapes instead. It won't water down your wine like ice cubes can. Likewise, you can also pour some wine in an ice cube tray, freeze them, and then use those cubes for your wine. 3. Clearing your sinuses. Allergy season can be a nuisance for people who get affected by the dust and pollen in the wind. Whatever's causing your sinuses to get clogged, you could always try pressing your fingers between your eyebrows. This supposedly relieves the pressure of clogged sinuses since this area is a sinus pressure point. You need to place your finger right above the bridge of your nose and between your eyebrows. You will then feel the ridges of your eyebrows, and here, you need to press on it gently for about a minute. Doing so helps the mucus secrete correctly. 2. Get some fresh air. Remember to get a sufficient amount of fresh air every day. A surefire way to achieve this is for even the busiest of people to get some fresh air on your commute to work. Whether that means taking public transportation, riding your bike, or rolling down your windows while driving to work, a little fresh air refreshes your mind and calms you down. That extra intake of clean oxygen will also help you stay awake and focused at work. 1. Know when to ask for help. Being independent and helping yourself is a big mark of adulthood. As a result, however, adults tend to forget to ask for help when they truly need it, as they've gotten far by being independent. But independency doesn't mean loneliness, and assistance here and there isn't weakness. Studies show that a lot of successful people do ask for help. They just knew when to ask. Hey guys! Don't forget to check out my channel, Wacky Universe, on your way out, and I'll see you next week.